of November are going to be pretty crucial for you as far as the exam is concerned. So I'm here going to spend a little time looking at explaining why the next 25 odd days are going to be far more important than all the last 3 to 4 months that have already gone by. First question which everybody gets is whether these 30 days are already enough. Are they really enough? The answer to this question will obviously mean, I would be very wrong in saying that they are very more than sufficient or they are enough if you have not already put in some kind of an effort at least. It is going to be very straightforward to tell you that, look friends, the last 30 days are only enough provided there are certain the work that you have already done. For example, you have done some kind of a preparation. You know, when you look at a question in quantitative ability, you know whether it's from arithmetic or algebra or from pure math, some way or the other. You know that it's a logs question, not a quadratic equations question for that matter. Having said this, we have noticed, and I think I can just go back and tell you for the last 15 years, 16 years that we have noticed that the significant difference to a final push or the real push comes in the last 20-25 days of any preparation for that matter, and CAT is no different. Till now what you have done, I'm sure some of you are kind of getting to be on a peak level where you have gone through all the basics of quant or DI or logic, etc. kind of things. However, what you have done till today is one level, and the next 25 days is kind of going to give you the rhythm to be able to crack this exam called CAT. In fact, let me also tell you the slight change in the pattern in the way the screen will appear to you. You will also see from the next Smart CAT onwards. In fact, some of the Smart CATs we are trying to change it to the previous one if some of you have not written any of these papers. Okay, so the whole idea is to make sure that the next 3 weeks are as well utilized. In fact, next 4 weeks are as well utilized as possible. Okay, so I hope the next 1 hour that you're going to spend time on will be useful for you in terms of getting a very clear idea of what you should do, and also be sure that what you did not do should not really be a problem for you. Okay. The second thing, of course, this is something which I have been telling for a long time now. Those of you have heard me, and those of you have been listening to various lectures that I have taken or the test taking strategy, etc. But guys, at least now I expect every one of you to write the Smart CATs. I know some of you may be writing other mock CATs, but I'm still saying the Smart CATs 18 is already just about over. 19, 20 and 21, the next 3 Sundays, if you can pick up, or if you have an exam on Saturday, for example, 22nd if there is an exam, so next 3 Saturdays, you write the exam depending on if it's a forenoon exam or a afternoon exam kind of things. Okay. In fact, I think the whole logic of using the timing, whether it's a Saturday or a Sunday, should be in the same way. It should become automatic by the time you go into the exam. It becomes a rhythm for you even then. Okay. Now, the other thing that I would tell you before I proceed to what you should be doing is something very simple. You will have to really believe that these next 25-30 days are really enough. Enough in terms of improving your scores. I tell you one thing, that if you put in without slacking the next 25 odd days, you will still be able to crack CAT. I'm going to do I'm going to tell you some things which are serious home truths from the next slide onwards. Okay, 1 second. While I don't have any magic wand to make sure that your scores will improve dramatically, but there are certain things which I'll repeat over what I have done for the last 3 to 6 months. CAT is not just an aptitude exam. It appears that you will have a quant and DI or a verbal and logical ability in your exam, but the more you look at it, it is a lot more to do with a mental aptitude. It's also a little physical endurance, given that it is 170 minutes, and the IIMs are making it even more worse off by asking you to come 2 hours in advance for a 3-hour paper, and 2 hours in advance, and if you are going to stay or if you stay a long way away from the center that you are, you're talking about 1.5 or even 2 hours of travel, 2 hours of waiting, and then you have to produce your very best in the remaining 170 minutes, that is the actual timing, that is 3 hours. It's not going to be easy, guys. Remember, I mean, those of you understand this, and instead of cribbing about it, you will realize that it is same for just about everybody in the country. In fact, quite a lot of them have their centers at far-flung places. Some of you who are, some of the people who have applied for a Chennai center, some of you have been thrown into a Puducherry or a Madurai or a Salem kind of a places too, which I have got to know during the course of today, which clearly means that there is a lot more to do than just spending that 2 hours and 50 minutes. You need to endure a lot more. So I'm saying, while it's a physical endurance, but when you reach into that exam area, spending that 2 hours and 50 minutes or 170 minutes in a very concentrated manner, when being continued to be alert in that time is going to be of utmost importance. May I suggest, therefore, that whenever the next 3 mocks you are writing, SmartCat 19, 20 and 21, the first advice I'll give you is write this exam at the same slot as you would in the real day. That is, if those of you have got 16, which is a Sunday, you will write the next 3 Sundays at exactly the same time. So if you have a forenoon slot, 9:30 to whatever time, you will sit in front of the computer from 7:30 to 9:30, sit or do nothing, go here and there, but not have refreshments in that sense of the word. 7:30 to 9:30, do nothing, sit there in one place without talking to anybody almost, and 9:30 to the time of the exam, you take a test. Similarly, for those people who are doing an afternoon session, 1 o'clock onwards you sit, 3 o'clock you start and finish at 5:50. Whatever this is, you will be surprised that if you do it 3 times in a row in 3 weeks, the 4th or the 5th week, whichever you get into, 4th week in that sense, you will be comfortable. It looks like, why do you really need to go to that extent? It's just better preparation. I am a major fan of Sachin Tendulkar, as most of you know already, but this something great to learn from this great gentleman. He used to say every exam, every test match or day before every test match or an ODI, he used to prepare very meticulously. It doesn't matter he got out 0 so many times, but he has got also so many hundreds simply because of his meticulous preparation. No wonder he's the most prolific batsman in the world. So, or was the most prolific in that sense. So here is where my point is first, even before we go into the idea of what I should do for the next 25-30 days. The first thing that I'm going to tell you is spend time in the next 3 mocks, spend those 3 exams exactly the same way you will spend in the real CAT also. Okay? Abhay, the only way you should do for that 2 hours is keep mum, maybe speak couple of things, don't have tea, coffee or anything of that sort. As Darshan says, mind mapping. Frankly, there is nothing you should do. And it's an endurance part. You might look at, or some people might laugh at it, but believe me, it makes a difference. 2 hours of doing nothing almost is going to kind of drain your energy a little. Of course, in the actual exam, you will be going and sitting and giving your biometric, standing in line, etc., looking at other people, chatting away to glory maybe. But then it happens. I'll not be surprised if you sleep away, except sit in a place and sleep, and don't sleep on a cot, because there is no cot available on that day, I'm sure. Okay, keep that in mind. You will be a little more alert simply because it's the real exam. When you are doing it in a mock, it is not going to be that easy. But in the real exam, you will be definitely alert simply because they will make you probably stay in a line for, or make you stand in a line for some time. Okay. Now, the next slide I'm going to show you is a very simple slide, which I'm predicting is going to be the CAT 2014 expectation in terms of percentiles and in terms of marks. Now, a couple of things that I want to talk about even before we go into that Excel numbers. The exact pattern is not still out. We do not know whether the marks are for +3 - 1, or is it +6 - 2, or is it +1 - 1/3. Absolutely fine, that is true. There is very little what we can do, but that is the anxiousness will go. So, we do not know, coming back to what I was saying, we do not know what the paper is going to be, what is the exact marks available for this exam. +3 - 1 or +1 - 1/3 or whatever else that may be. But let me also tell you one thing. If it is +3 - 1, I am predicting that the cutoffs will not be very, very high. I'm going to answer that questions two of you have put in, but this is my basic prediction. Total marks in CAT, if it is 300 marks for an average level of difficulty paper or difficult paper, which is what I expect it to be, at 115 plus, you are easily going to cross 99.1, 99.2. This is conservative 99 percentile. At 105 plus, a guaranteed 95, 96 plus in fact. I have just put a little more conservative numbers here, but this is like a guaranteed numbers almost with that number. Now here is where I am trying to explain to you about this +3 - 1. If there are, the reason why it is +3 - 1 or +1 - 1/3 is because there are 4 choices in the exam. Because there are 4 choices, the whole logic of this negative marking is that if you are guessing everything, you should get a 0 mark. For example, if you guess all 100 questions, according to probability, and if there are 4 choices available, you will get 25 correct and 75 wrong, and total net will be 0. See, please understand that if you are guessing 2 or 3, it will be completely different. At 2 or 3 questions you guess, you may get all 3 correct or all 3 wrong. But on an average, the whole logic of this negative marking is that if anybody generally, marks everything, they should not get a call or any marks at all in that for that matter. It should be 0. Now, a couple of questions which come in here saying that could there be more than 4 choices? There could be. If there are more than 4 choices, let's say there are 5 choices, then the marks will be +4 - 1 or +1 - 1/4. When I say average level of difficulty, what I am saying is SmartCat 17, SmartCat 18 is what will conform to that average level of difficulty. Even SmartCat 15, 16. 1 or 2 paper, I think something like SmartCat 16 was pretty difficult specifically, but we have tried to ensure various kinds of difficulty over the last 17 mocks, especially after SmartCat 9 when the paper pattern changed. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, here is where I want to say something very interesting, and just hear me out. If you have 100 when I'm saying it's 115, if I'm saying 115 marks for a 300 mark paper, that is plus 3 and minus 1. What if it is plus 1 and minus 1 by 3? If it is plus 1 and minus 1 by 3, in other words, we are talking about a 100-mark paper. On a 100-mark paper, 115 by 3 is what you should ideally get, which should be something like 37 kind of thing, 38 actually, 38.33. But here is where I am saying something interesting. If it is a plus 1 minus 1 by 3 mark paper, the cutoff will go to 40, not 38.33. It will not be exactly by 3. Similarly, if it is a plus 6, I mean hypothetically speaking, if it's a plus 6 marks for every correct answer and minus 2 marks for every wrong answer, in other words, we are talking about out of 600. So, if my prediction goes, it should be equal, it should be 230 out of 600, but I am saying it will go down to something like 220, not more than 230. Now here is where you need to understand the psychology of vast majority of students. I said CAT is a very mental aptitude test. When you are attempting a question, when it is plus 3, you give more extra time because for every question you are attempting, you are getting 3 full marks. Similarly, when you want to guess, you would be, in doubt, a lot more in doubt, simply because you are going to lose 1 full mark. It's a psychological game, but that's what it is played. We have seen that in 2004 to 2005 or 2003 to 2004 when the number of marks for each question changed, and 2005 to 2004 to 2005 also. You will be surprised that if it is plus 1 and minus 1 by 3, psychologically you will feel that it's only 1 mark, therefore you will not spend so much of time. Similarly, because you are going to lose only minus 1/3, you will actually guess more, meaning I am saying guess meaning not a random guess, but you will kind of be a little more bolder in attempting those questions. So you will actually attempt more when it is a plus 1 minus 1 by 3 instead of a plus 3 minus 2. You might say, what's so big deal about it? Somebody has asked me this question already. What's the big deal about it? It's the same number. It is the psychological effect of plus 3 minus 2 or a plus 6 minus 1 kind of things. Okay, you will have to realize this, that if you can insulate yourself from that plus 3 minus 1 or plus 6 minus 2 or plus 1 minus 3, you will do without worrying about the marks. You will do without worrying about whether you are getting the cutoff. You will do the paper without really worried about whether you will get into an IIM Ahmedabad or an IIM Kashipur for that matter. Now I am saying this because vast majority of us spend a lot of time unnecessarily thinking about the marks in the exam hall. Yes, Abhijit, they will declare the exam pattern in the next few days is what I am expecting. It will be declared in the next few days itself. But we will know the marks available kind of things. But having said this, whatever the marks, there are 100 questions very clearly given to you. You can toggle between section 1, section 2. It is not going to be the way you are seeing it, where you need to go click, 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 section 1 and then even section 2, click, 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 click. The way it will be is on the top right hand corner or left hand corner, you will find section 1, section 2, and on the right side of the entire page, on the right side of the page of your screen, you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, all 50 written very clearly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all maybe 10 rows of 5, 5 each, which will give you 50 question numbers. Which questions you have answered will be in green. Which questions you have not answered will be probably in white or whatever else. In fact, the colors are already there on the tube, that is a YouTube video they have already given. We are going to do exactly the same. White, red, etc. Deepak and all is giving, but it's exactly the same. In fact, almost the same thing which we will use from the next mock CAT itself straight away. Okay, keep that in mind. So in other words, you can toggle between section 1 and section 2. Forget about the scores. Forget about. You will keep doing the paper to maximize your attempts without worrying about the marks. You will not randomly guess. This is one single statement I can tell you. Do not randomly guess. Because in random guessing, your more chances of you getting them wrong. As somebody is giving correctly, I think if you have marked there are 4 choices. You have marked, you are not attempted, you are not attempted, and marked for review, some such kind of 3 or 4 things which will be available to you. Okay. Now these percentiles and marks that I'm putting into here are still very conservative, meaning actually I expect for an average level of difficulty paper that I am envisaging, like the SmartCat 17 or 16 for that matter, as Sayan has said, your 99 percentile you will probably get at 106, 105, 107 itself. But I don't want to be giving you too many hopes right away. I want you to push yourself a little more, and that's the reason why these are the most difficult numbers that I've given you. There is no doubt about it that it will be less than this or equal to this, but almost guaranteed it will not be more than this. Okay, so you be sure of this, and when you are putting in effort, I am pretty sure that you will reach that numbers. Just a second, guys, just a second. Should I do for the next 30 days? That's going to be obviously the next problem. Now, before we look at the next problem, this is one thing which I've already told you quite a number of times, that look, there are only 2 ways, and there are only 2 ways in which you can increase your marks. Before I just talk about improving your marks, when I said these are the total overall scores, one question that some of you will probably have is, what do you think will be the cutoffs for each of the 2 sections? My bet is the cutoffs out of 150 would be in the range of about 40 to 45 marks at the max. 45 marks would be like almost guaranteed to get a 90 plus percentile in general. But 40 to 45, even at a very easier level of difficulty, it will go to 45, 46, or it can go to 40. That is the kind of a range I'm looking at for both section 1 and maybe a shade more for section 2. The reason I am telling you that section 2 will be slightly shade more is because of 2 reasons. One is logical ability is involved in that, and second, because it's talking about a verbal ability area. Verbal ability, you can attempt more questions in lesser time ideally, and hence the chance of people attempting more questions will always be higher. Just give you an example again why. Let's say there are, again, very quick guesstimate. If there are 20 questions in verbal ability and somebody attempts all 20, let's say attempts all 20 in, let's say, 30 minutes just now, or 35 minutes, you get 12 right and 8 wrong. If you get 12 right and 8 wrong, or even 11 right and 9 wrong, let's say, you're still talking about 21 marks straight away. Or what 21? 24 marks straight away. In something like 34-35 minutes, by attempting all 20 on 20, and let's say you are okay in verbal, not really good in that sense, if you get 11 correct and 9 wrong, you're talking about a net of 24. Assuming that you're going to give an almost equal time to both the sections, you're talking about another 50 minutes available, or another almost 45-50 minutes available, in which chances are that you can easily get the 20-25 marks. That is the reason why section 2, the cutoff will be higher. And if logical ability, even if 2 sets are easy, you're talking about getting a 40-45 plus easily. So another reason why I keep saying, friends, yes, 45 means 90 percentile sign. So that is what I'm trying to say, why you should plan in such a way to improve your attempts itself. Now, having said this, one big caution to every one of you listening to me, when I said increasing attempts, I am just not talking about random guessing. Random guessing is suicidal. I am saying you can increase marks, increase attempts by doing what I'm talking about, the list. Just listen to what is there on the left side. Stop wasting time on questions that you aren't able to solve. Many a time, and even today when you are writing exams, you see this all the time, that you spend time on a question for a long time, 2-3 minutes later you want to get out of it, you don't want, it's like it is sucking you into that question. It is spending good time on bad rubbish. If you are not able to get an answer in 2.5 minutes and you are not closer to an answer, if you are not closer to an answer, get out of that question. I don't think this is the first time I'm saying this, but get it into your brains that it is impossible to get an answer in the exam if you are nowhere close to the exam, into the answer in the first 2.5 minutes of the paper. Okay, it is very, very important. I mean, I don't see any way what else I can say to improve. That itself can help you. That itself will help you to increase your attempts. Second, this is another thing which is very normally seen, that the alertness of between question to question. That 170 minutes have to be at high level of concentration rather than at a very low level, rather than being a little lackadaisical about it. Question to question, if I say, for example, if you attempt 50 questions in 170 minutes, ideally, let's say you are attempting about that, you are talking about spending almost 3 minutes and what? Close to 24 seconds for the question. 3 minutes and 24 seconds per question on an average if you are attempting 50 questions. Here is where I am saying, if you can save even 5 seconds per question for these 50 questions, you are talking about saving 250 seconds. 250 seconds is 4 minutes. That's one more question. That is what I am saying, improving attempts. When you write, let's say when you solve a question, especially quant or DI or logic, once you finish the question, there is a sigh at the end of the day. I got it. I got it. Another 2-3 seconds are gone before you click to the next question. That, I think, where you need to be alert. If you are high alert at 5 seconds each, you will be able to do much, much better and start improving your attempts. When I'm saying 3 minutes and 24 seconds per question on an average for 50 questions, Arvind has just asked me, would attempting of 70 questions a good amount? Answer is absolutely correct. 70 if you can attempt, friend, and get about something like 45, 40 correct also. You are talking 45 correct, 43, 44 correct. You are talking about cracking into the 115 plus and 120 plus, which will be more than 99.3, 99.5 percentile. Now, I am expecting that some of you can get that 99.9 percentile also, but I think that is very, very much possible too. Just a second. There is frankly no other way to improve but by increasing attempts or by decreasing mistakes. But here, when I'm saying increasing attempts, it's about reducing the wastage of time between questions. Second, taking such decisions, okay, most of the times you say that I spend 15 minutes on logical ability set. I mean, it is ridiculously long. You are not able to get in the 6th to 7th minute, get out of it. RC, how much ever time you give, guys. In fact, it is, I don't know how many of you have heard this. There's a book by Rolf Dobelli called The Art of Thinking Clearly. In this, he says something very interesting. Whenever there is a subjective questioning, like RC verbal, your intuitive answer is going to be far better than a deliberated answer. Deliberated means thought about answer. Example, grammar, even parajumbles for that matter. RC, to a large extent, the more you think about the answer and the nuances of which is correct and which is wrong, you will get it wrong more often than you will get it right. The objective questions like quant or DI or even logic for that matter, frankly, more time will actually give you more marks simply because you will be more careful about it. But deliberated questions or questions where you have to deliberate a lot more, you will you will get confused a lot more, and you will start then attributing this also is the right answer or that also is the right answer, and it is going to make a mess for you. Please, may I just give you a simple, if I may use the word instruction. Do not waste time on an RC, grammar, or for that matter any verbal question. You have to trust your instincts because it's subjective. And I'm saying, I'm not saying do it fast. Read, take a reasoning and tick your question straight away then and there. Okay, keep that in mind. That will reduce your wastage of time significantly, thereby improving your attempts. Second, if those of you, this is another thing I'm talking about attempts, those of you who have not touched RC in the exams or not touched DI in the smart cards till now, I am saying it's very, I'm telling you it's very bad. Please attempt RC. Please attempt data interpretation. Yes, Vijay, that's what exactly I say. The first answer which you feel is right after going through all the 4 choices is what you should mark, and do not deliberate on it very much. What Abhijit I am saying is, repeat it once again, that you have to take a call or decision, make a decision faster without spending too much of time on dilly-dallying or thinking of whether A is answer or B is answer. If you are able to eliminate 2 or 3 choices, get up, answer the question and go to the next one straight away. Okay? See, don't worry about one odd question being, some of the LAs being slightly difficult or slightly not difficult. If there are 4 to 5 choices coming in 4 to 5 sets coming in the CAT paper, you will easily find 2 or 3 very easy. Harsha, that won't be a random guessing. Random guessing is not seeing the question, not seeing the choices and answering it. What I am saying is, read the question, read the passage, read the question, read the choices, eliminate whatever choices doesn't seem to be correct to you, zero in on 1 or 2 choices, take a decision and go. That's what I'm saying, Nivedita. You will have to take a decision. What happens is you keep on deliberating, you will lose a lot of things. You lose a lot of time there. And that is what I think is more negative than anything else in that world. Darshan, when again, this is exactly what I'm saying. If you are eliminating 2 choices and if you have 2 choices on which you need to take a decision, please guess and get out of the question. Please mark and get out of the question. Okay, keep that in mind in that sense of the word. Is that okay? Okay. This is where I keep talking about when you increasing your attempts. When I said increasing attempts, when you remove 2 choices, when you are able to eliminate 2 choices, after that, do not waste too much of time trying to decide between 1 or 2. Reason out in whichever way you can and guess between the 2, not 4 guesses. That is not random guessing. It's called a calculated guess. Likewise, you will be able to easily save not 5 seconds, probably 15-20 seconds per question. 15-20 seconds per question of, let's say you are attempting today only 35-40, you are talking about easily another 10 minutes saving. 10 minutes saving could be another 2 more, 3 more questions for you. 2 more, 3 more questions can make a huge difference, friends, in the final analysis. And I think that is very important. Again, Sayan, you are not able to understand. I don't know what your question is. 50% chance on those 2 choices, but it is not 50% chance. I am still saying it is not a 50% chance because you will have some reasoning. You will have some reasoning to look at it rather than a general answer. Therefore, I am saying it is not 50% reasoning. If you have eliminated 2 choices and there are 2 choices that you are close to, take a call between the 2 and finish off. It is not 50%. It is still taking a call of which one of them according to you is right. But see, this is where I am saying, more you think about this is the answer or that is the answer, you will get it wrong. So stop thinking about it. Whatever at that intuitive time you get an answer is right, just go ahead and answer it. Okay? Right. Next, the second thing is obviously is decreasing mistakes. Now this is something which is not easy, but the one serious way of decreasing mistakes is when you are on high alert in an exam. Both in the RC verbal areas that I'm talking about, but most importantly, when you're doing your logical ability or when you are doing your DI or even for that quant, making sure that you're reading it carefully, making sure that every number if you're reading 13 and capping, writing down 31 in your rough notebook, such kind of things should avoid, and that will get avoided if you are alert in the exam, nothing else. Then, as somebody just now asked, you stop thinking about the previous question that you have left unattended in the question, because past is definitely history in that sense. Don't bother about it. Friend, the only way you can be alert for 2 hours and 50 minutes is this is going to change the way your life is going to be for the next 35 years. You get into in the top institutes and I think it is worth to be absolutely, it's worth to not spend 3 hours but 5 hours of continuous effort so that you get something more. If you tell yourself that, look, I am tired, if you tell yourself that I am doing more than I can do, etc. kind of things, then you are being, you are probably looking at self-pity. Friend, you want to get into an IIM, you want to be in the top 3,000, 2,000 students among 2 lakh students, you want to be in the top 1% or 2% of the country, you cannot crib that you are spending 3 hours in an exam hall. Remember this and go ahead with this. Second, at the end of the day, you have spent whatever, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months over the last year, and some of you maybe 2 years. Please understand that at this stage, losing out because you tell yourself that I don't have the concentration, etc. kind of things, is to my mind a little childish. Every one of us can concentrate if required be. I'm sure when you see movies continuously, there are some people I know who can see continuously movies, two movies continuously with complete concentration, understanding every word and every dialogue, and repeat the dialogue the moment the thing is over. That's purely interest. Get interested in this. Okay, please understand that is what is important, and don't waste your time thinking that maybe I won't be able to do it. If you don't want to, see, it's like this. I am telling you that, look, you can do it, because I know that insane amounts of people have done it. When you are in IIT JEE, people used to write 3 hours continuously, take a break for 1 hour, another 3 hours continuously. You can do that then. I don't see any reason why you can't do it right now. Okay, very, very clearly people have done that. You can also do that. Stop telling all at least for yourself, you stop giving some kind of a, excuse for failing. Similarly, as somebody has said, simulation, like Ashish is saying, simulate the CAT situation for a week. That's exactly what I'm saying. For the next 3 weeks, not 1 week, 3 weeks, from 7:30 to 9:30, don't do anything. Otherwise, you want to sleep there, but sit in a room, in a chair and sleep if required be. But from the time you start off the exam to ending the exam, concentrate completely. Don't get up when you are writing the next 3 exams. I see in the smart cats that people are writing, people don't finish their exam in one single go. They get up, they drink chai, they probably eat, they talk on the phone, etc. Switch off everything. Spend that 170 minutes without getting up for the next 3 marks. Take it as it is. Okay, keep that in mind and you will be better off. Right. Next, so this itself will help you to decrease some of the mistakes that you are probably doing. Now here is where I'll take another few minutes on the final game plan or strategy. You will know the test pattern. You will know how many questions. The questions, so anyway, clearly section 1, section 2, you can go toggle between section 1, section 2. Chances are that you will also know how many are quant DI once you click through the questions. Possible breakup of the time limits. I am not saying these are sacrosanct, but these are some ideas I'm giving you. Quant, 50 minutes for 30-35 questions. DI, 30 minutes for 15 to 20 questions. Logical ability, 25 minutes for 15 odd questions. Reading comprehension, again 25 minutes for 15 odd questions. And verbal ability, 30 minutes for 20 odd questions. This is what my numbers, if you notice it's 160 minutes, 10 minutes is a buffer. 10 minutes is a buffer which can help you to probably go back to that 1 or 2 questions or 1 or 2 areas. Last 5-7 minutes actually goes waste in most exams. That is where if you can attempt 2 more questions, it will really help you. 2 questions can really help you to get that extra 6 marks. The last 6 minutes, therefore, you should be very careful or, plan for the 6-7 minutes to ensure that you attempt 1 or 2 questions, either in quant or DI or in verbal or RC kind of things without much ado. That will happen if you plan your game properly. Now, while I am giving you these 50, 30, 25, 25, you could have gone to 60 and 20 or, these numbers are not, these are indicative numbers. Use what is relevant for you. Second, since you can toggle between section 1 and section 2, it does not matter whether you start section 1 or section 2. I would rather say it doesn't matter where you start. You decide what is your strength area. Let's say your strength area is reading comprehension. Start in reading comprehension. If your strength area is verbal ability, start there. Strength area is quant, start there. Depending on the strength area, you will start. And that is what is important. Okay, keep that in mind so that you really get the maximum out of that 170 minutes. When you see, now this is where I'm saying, when you give this as a 170 minute and then break up of 25 minutes, on the top, for example, you will see on the top of it here, I'm using it. For example, on the top of your right hand screen, like I'm saying, let's say it starts with 170 minutes or it starts with, let's say, 2 hours and 50 minutes. You know that first 3 minutes or first 5 minutes is going to go waste. So almost you are starting off in 2 hours and 45 minutes. Let's say I want to start verbal ability. I know that if I start at 2 hours 45 minutes, at 2 hours and 15 minutes, I need to get out of my verbal ability. So I know this is 30 minutes. In your paper, in your the rough sheet of paper, make a note of it already that at this time you will get out of it, so that you know that exactly you are spending 30 minutes for your verbal section kind of things. If some, like Shruti has just asked, if let's say something is not your strength but it is working for you, that you are starting with that section, I am saying by all means start. There is nothing sacrosanct about saying that you should start with your strength alone. All I am saying is it is better in general, but it may be different for you. Therefore, you do it what is correct about you. If there are 1,96,000 people who have applied for CAT, each one of you may be almost different from each other. So don't worry about what the others are doing. Don't talk to your senior who has written the paper in this method, therefore you will try to do it in that method. He or she may be doing it because his or her strengths are different. Ashish is right. You will have to do it. Whatever is working is correct and good for you. And Sayan, don't worry. Shruti or you can both be good in quant as long as you start solving them. Okay? See, if it is the way I look at it, Rishikesh, and it's correctly so, you will spend 3-4 minutes in navigation. There's nothing wrong with the 3-4 minutes in navigation. But that's what I'm counting. That's where the buffer time is. So 3 to 5 minutes on the first initial buffers will keep going on, and the last 5 minutes, that's where you will probably be able to do 1 or 2 questions. Okay? So that's the basic strategy. But again, if you do not have a strategy, please have it. If you are not attempting a set of questions or an area, please start now. Even today is fine. If you are not doing it, please go back and solve, but making sure that you don't miss out on any area at all. Science says I am slow in exam situation. No, you are not slow in exam situation. You are afraid in an exam situation, and that is why you are slow. The slow is a symptom, not the problem. The problem is fear. The problem is you are afraid of the result. Your problem is you will not get into an IIM, and that is what is making you more cautious. Understand the problem, friend. You will get out of that being slow at all. You know, you will write every set, every sentence, and that makes it bad. Okay? And that is where I am saying, get out of it. I mean, you need to tell yourself, there's nothing like some day in life you will happen. Worst case scenario, you will get a lesser percentile. But if you start thinking about, oh, what will I do if I get a lesser percentile? Almost guaranteed you will get a lesser percentile. Therefore, I am saying, just listen to me when I am saying that. Just go ahead and try attempting. Then, like, if you are getting, let's say you are already attempting 70-75 questions and getting something like 25-30 wrong. That is where I am saying your strategy will change at the last moment. I mean, now you will reduce a little. If you have 2-3 months back, I said increase your attempts. If you have now started attempting 70-75 questions but making more errors, now reduce errors. You know, there are certain random guesses or certain level of guesswork you would have made in quant or DI kind of areas. That you reduce now, you will be better off, is what I would say. Okay? Chances are very, very correct. Darshan is saying very interestingly that you probably are putting huge amount of pressure on yourself, like the Brazilian team in the World Cup. I mean, Germany, they rolled over them simply because the worry was so high to perform. You know, the fear of performance is far more dangerous than actually the performance or the question. The quant and DI and verbal and RC and LA are far more easier than that fear of performance. And if you understand that, okay, voice is not coming properly is what you're saying. Just a second. It's also because of the usage here. So here is where I continue to say, friends, don't be a Brazilian team in your cat. The fear of getting married, the fear that you'll have to continue with your job, the fear that the life is more difficult, etc., is what makes it worse. Stop thinking about the future. Stop thinking about the result itself, and I think you will be able to do that. There is no other method. There is no other method but to get out of it, kind of things. Okay? So just look at that, and we will continue for the next question. Now, what are you supposed to do for the next next 20 days? In fact, there is no 28 days. In fact, I was talking to them 3 days back. You have 3 mocks to go. If you have not taken any other mock, before, please take that. But next Sunday or Saturday, once again to repeat what I said in the very beginning, if your exam is on 16th, that means you are writing on a Sunday. So next 3 Sundays, take the exam, the next 3 mocks, mark at 19, 20, 21 in the next 3 Sundays. The 4th Sunday will be your exam. If your exam is on 22nd of November, next 3 Saturdays, please take 18, 19, 20 and 21. If you have time and if you have not written one of the mocks previously, take that mock on 16th or 15th of November. Ideally, I'm saying if you don't do it, it's also fine. But that is what you should do as far as the mocks are concerned. There is no point in writing too many of them. Point number 1. Point number 2. That day of the mock, on the day when you're writing it, whether it is a Sunday or a Saturday, use that extra time to analyze that mock itself. Now, how do you analyze this mock? listen to me carefully. What I would say is, already you see that the moment the exam is over, you will get the entire analysis. You will know which questions you have got it right, wrong, and what you have not attempted. Next 3 marks, give yourself 60 more minutes. I know it is a fight, but 60 more minutes, that is 1 hour more. Maybe 20 or 25 minutes for quant, 10 minutes for DI, 20 minutes for quant, 10 minutes for DI, and 10 minutes for logic, Varsi, and verbal. So 30 minutes for section 1, 30 minutes for section 2, you will give extra time after the mock is over. And try attempting either the ones which you got wrong, go back and try solving them again, or attempt those questions which you have not attempted, even if there are 3 or 4 of them, in all the sections, in all the areas. In 60 minutes, try attempting 10 to 15 questions. Maybe even 8 questions you will attempt, maybe. Doesn't matter. Now, here is my logic. These 60 minutes, see, the whole exam is for 170 minutes. I am saying after this 170 minutes is over, you put another 60 minutes of your time to resolve the paper. In this resolving, either you will do the questions which you got wrong, or you will attempt some of the questions which you have attempted already, not attempted already. Idea is, if the 60 minutes that you have spent in the exam hall gets replaced with the 60 that you really have done post the exam, your marks, any 60 marks, the worst 60 marks you pick out, take it out and put this 60 marks, your scores will improve by nothing less than 24-25 marks. It's a bet on this actually. It will be more, but at least 24-25 marks is what it will improve on. I am saying do this as an exercise. That's all I am saying. Don't do it anything great, but I am saying do just this as an exercise. It will help you. Okay. Now, but that's only for analysis. Then after that is over, make sure that every question in the mock, you go through one round, all of it once again. Between any 2 mocks, that is, let's say next Sunday, from today till the Sunday, practice on any 1 or 2 or 3 topics for the next 6 months. I'm going to talk about what should you do in the intervening 6 months. Let's say SmartCat 18 is over yesterday. 19 to next 5 days including Diwali. Maybe Diwali, on one Diwali day you will not work, but doesn't matter. That's okay with me. That's okay with you too, or it should be. But make sure that you use the next 6 days. Similarly, after the next mock and the entire mock analysis, the next 6 days, and likewise, there are 4 slots of 6 days available for you. 6 4s are 24 days available for you minimum. The idea is, here between today and the next Sunday, you should try improving at least 1 or 2 questions in each section in terms of attempts or reducing mistakes. Similarly, if you can reduce 2 mistakes, like Pranav was saying, I make a lot of mistakes. Go back and check a little bit of why you are making so many mistakes, and you will find that a little bit of concentration and a little bit of multiplication errors or addition errors can reduce that. Be a little more alert. I am using this word alert more number of times, but that's the truth. You will see your marks improving drastically. Okay, here is where I expect, very, very simply, quantitative ability. Before I go into it, the first 8 mocks had 60 questions each. 8 6 are 480 questions. The next 13 mocks, starting from SmartCat 9 to SmartCat 21, that's 13 into 100, 1300. You are talking about 480 plus 1300 questions, that's 1780 questions in 24 days. That's easily possible. That means about 70 to 80 questions per day from now onwards. Now just one small idea that I'm going to give you, friends. Why do you think numbers and geometry have more questions in the CAT paper than, let's say, time in work or percentage profit and loss? The reason is very simple. If you look at profit and loss or percentage profit and loss, there is one concept only, just one concept. Selling price, cost price, initial value, final value, and percentage increase or profit percentage. Both of them are exactly the same. There is only one single concept in that entire percentage profit and loss. Even successive increase, decrease is a single concept as such. Whereas, no, not even that, Ashish. There is only one concept, there will be variation. Concept-wise, there is only one. But when you look at geometry, angles is not one concept. Angles itself is multiple concepts. Triangles, in radius, circumradius, x radius, in center, all of this is 2 or 3 concepts there. Circumradius, circumcenter, centroid, etc. Then we talk about quadrilaterals. There is a rectangle, there is a square, there is a parallelogram, there is a rhombus, there is a normal quadrilateral, and each one has its own properties. Then you have circles, then you have tangents, then you have chords, then you have alternate segment theorems. You know, there are multiple concepts in geometry. No wonder that in geometry, the number of questions in CAT, the number of questions in geometry are always higher than, let's say, a logarithms or your percentage profit and loss or simple interest, compound interest, which has one concept or 2 concepts, concepts wise. Once they are given a concept, they can give you a variation of the concept, but not the same, not a different concept as such. That is the reason why. Similar is the case with numbers. So when we keep telling you why numbers and geometry are important, the reason is very obvious. The reason is there are more concepts in this, and therefore there is higher likelihood of getting more questions in this. But if you look at quadratic equations, there are 2 concepts in the entire story. If you talk about progressions, there are 3 concepts: AP, GP, AGP. That's all. There are 3 concepts, out of which again within concepts there will be sum and number of terms, nothing else. You are talking about nothing so important in that sense of the word. So here is where why these topics are important. Now coming back to what I was saying, if you have not done, I'm sticking my neck out and telling you, you don't have to do anything for the next 20 odd days except the smart cats. These 1780 questions are very, very important. Not because these will come in CAT, but because these will cover almost all areas that have come in any of the concepts of these areas. This covers all concepts of these areas. One of the reasons why, how much ever preparation you do for a smart cat, all the smart cat you do, the next smart cat will still be difficult for you, but not so the real cat. I know what I have given for 18 mocks. Therefore, my 19th mock will be ideally different from our 18 mocks to a large extent. There will be some similarity, but not too much of similarity. Whereas, when the IIMs give you, then the CAT comes in, they do not know what VistaMind is giving for 21 papers. So there will be a lot more similarity. I am also saying it doesn't matter if you don't go through the original CAT papers, because we ensure that in these smart cats and the handouts that we have already given you, so quite a lot of you, will cover everything that exists. So here is where I am saying, what do you do therefore for the next 24 days of 6666 days that is available for you? You will pick 4 subtopics for every 6 days. In fact, not 3 days of work, probably 6 days of work. 4 subtopics for every 6 days of work in quantitative ability. For each of these subtopics, solve 10 to 12 questions or 10 to 15 questions in each day from each of these subtopics. In other words, 15 into 4, that's 60 to 70 questions per day. 70 questions per day from 4 subtopics. But when it comes to numbers, maybe you will do not one day, but twice. Maybe in this next 21st to 25th, you will do once numbers and once geometry, and somewhere around 11th to 15th of November also, you will again do numbers and geometry from all the smart cats available. All the smart cats available. And that I think is going to be important. Yes, Arvind, I will, if you may, I am saying, Sayan, Vijay, everybody, that look, if you have more time, then you can do other things also, but making sure that your next few days are going to be completely to revise your smart cats is sacrosanct. It's very much required. So please go ahead and do that is what I would say. You can close all your books if you want to, but again I'll say, only for those one or two concepts which you are not able to understand even in the smart cats, then you will go back to your basics. Otherwise, you won't have so much of time. If you have more time, great. But if you don't have more time, I think even this much is more than sufficient. Frankly, more than sufficient for the next day. Please understand that 60-70 questions of numbers is what you would have got right now. Somebody asked me how many questions on an average will you get in geometry. Chances are that 6 to 7. On an average paper that we have given you, we're going to 4 to 7. 4 to 7 or 4 to 8 or an average 6. 6 into 21 is 120 questions of geometry we have given you. Go through every question once and if possible twice. Chances are that in the actual CAT paper, if there are 5-6 questions, you can easily do 3 or 4 of them. Easily do 3 or 4 of them. It's a guaranteed way. But make sure that now is the time to concentrate only on the smart cats that you've already done. If you've not done it, take the paper and then go through the questions. Okay? It is time. All of you, in fact 70 of you are on this class. Please make sure that you attend to write the mocks from now onwards at least. Right, Samrit? Next. So that is for quant. So it's a simpler thing for data interpretation. Here is where I am saying every day 3 sets per day. That's what I want to do. 24 days, something like 72 sets. Now you have only 21 papers. That's all. You can do some more papers wherever possible, but make sure. Yes, Kavya, I agree. That's exactly what I was telling you. Okay, so every day from today, except those days when you're writing the mock, you do 3 sets. In fact, I'll tell you what, this is a drill that I want you to do. Logical ability, reading comprehension. 3 sets, and 3 sets or 3 RC passages. This is a drill that I want you to do every day till 2 days before CAT. 2 days or 3 days before your CAT. Every day do this. I want this rhythm to come to you. Apart from quant, mind you, apart from quant where you will pick up the subtopics, this is something I am saying, please do it. You will see the beauty of the improvement of the marks. See, DI, you can also do it the other way around, is do all tables on one day, or on the next 3 days, 3 days bar charts, 3 days line graphs, 3 days tournaments and games. You have 7 different types of areas, 7 into 3, 21. You know, you can easily do that way. I mean, so 9 sets kind of thing. That's also available for you as far as the mock cats are concerned. In the main exam, Devnath, DILA and RC together could probably have 45 questions between them out of the 100. So therefore, I am saying spend every day 3 sets from the smart cats first, and then on addition to it, any of the original CAT papers if you have more time. If you have more time, please go through the 91 to 99 or 99 to 2000 papers, but please go through it first after having gone through the smart cats. It is more than enough to go through, frankly speaking, if you do the go through. But this is minimum is what I am saying. This is the minimum that I want you to go through. Similarly, one small thing extra about reading comprehension. When you solve RC sets, After every set, make sure that you check every answer, right as well as wrong answer once again. Remember, I was saying you should take a decision. Get used to that making decision once again here in the mocks, in the same mocks for that matter. For every wrong answer that you get, give reasons. I use this word, rubbish your answer. You got a wrong answer. If you got it wrong, rubbish your answer and reason out why your answer is wrong. That is the way to kind of keep telling yourself that, look, this is the reasoning which is wrong. Therefore, excuse me, therefore, you will be able to get a better method of thinking. This is one thing extra you do for RCs. It doesn't matter where you get from. If you get from Smart Cats, great. If you have previous CAT papers, great. But make sure that every RC you do it. 3 sets of RCs per day, 3 data interpretation sets, and 3 logical ability sets. This is 3 logical ability sets every day. The whole large idea is over the next 25-30 days, you would have solved 75 to 90 sets at least. And for verbal ability, there are people who ask me, sir, what should I do for grammar? Every day solve 10 questions, even from the grammar handouts. Doesn't matter if it's only from Smart Cats. Here I'm saying even from the handouts. Phrasal verbs is one thing which I would like you to go through for sure. In addition to it, again, every day some 10 phrasal verbs for the next 25 days. 10 questions on grammar. Wherever you get your hands on, please do it as a ritual. The idea here is very simple. There's nothing much you can do. But remember this, that if you do 300 such ones or 350 such ones, you will be better off. Ideally from the same PC if you can, Sayan. And make sure that your words from all the Smart Cats given to you, from various words, I'm not talking about the question words, but when you read also there are some words which you will get. Make sure that you understand the usage of that. And again, for every 3 days, solve 15. Here, unlike grammar where you have to do every day, for para jumbles and para completion, I think every 3 days, 1 day you give it and do some 15 para jumbles. Once again, the idea is to get the rhythm in life, rhythm of solving a lot of questions. Okay? One final word before I go into answering a lot more questions. Savik, you have asked any question you can ask. Uh, 30 days can make seriously a huge difference. Guys, 15 years I have been training students. Please take my statement as gospel truth. The last 30 days matter much more than the previous 30 and the previous 60 and the previous 90. I'm not saying the previous 30 or 90 were not important, but the next 30 become critical. An exam like CAT is an exam where you need to be in form. It's like a Virat Kohli. Once you get into form, he will have a century. If he is not in form, he will be woefully out of form. So what is the way to get yourself into form? Do it daily. When you do it daily, it becomes normal. You will see that it becomes easier and easier. Bala, what I am trying to say, I think. Can you hear now? I hope. Just 1 second. What I am trying to say is very simple. 30 days can make a huge difference, and 30 days can mean you can add 20-25 marks. See, what I am trying to say is getting into the rhythm. Like if you get into the rhythm, you will see that each one of us can actually score a lot more. Only when you are giving too much of time, when there is no, continuity is where you make a mistake. I am not even saying write a mock every day. That doesn't make sense. But I am saying, small parts of your process will make it much better in like DI, verbal, quant, DI, grammar, etc. kind of things. I am still saying, Ashish is just now saying, can I hopefully get 150? You may not get in a smart cat, friend, because every smart cat I give, I know what is my previous smart cat, so I'll try to make it slightly more difficult. Remember, if in the smart cat you are getting 100, in the real mock you will actually get about 110, 115. In the smart cat you are getting 60, in the real you will get about 75, 80 automatically at this stage. The reason is very simple. We have to deliberately make it difficult, not because we want to make it difficult, because every time I sit for a mock, the making of a mock, I have to ensure that I don't give too many concepts which I've already given for the last previous 20 or previous 17. That's the reason why I keep changing or making it slightly more difficult for you. Okay, keep that in mind. That also means when you are adding 25 marks, you can add 20 to 30 or even 40 percentile to your analysis. Those of you who are at a lower percentile range of 60s, 50s, going up to 90 is not a big deal. That's 25 marks from where you are. You will be surprised. If you are getting a 90 percentile right now kind of thing, you will go up to 98, 99 by adding 20 marks or 5 questions to your kitty. 5 questions or 5 less mistakes or 6, 7 questions extra, and you will be there very, very easily. Kavya, you will have to do that for the next 3 marks. You will be better off. Last 2 statements I am telling you, friends, work without worrying about results. This is far more negative than anything else in the world. The more you think about negative results or what will happen to you, you will get married tomorrow morning, etc. kind of things, you will be worse off in general. So do not worry about results at all. Just give your best shot for the next 25-30 days. Remember, CAT is not the only thing. After that, 23rd, there is IIFT. There is 21st of December, there is a SNAP. Jan 4th, there is a ZAT. There are other exams. You will have to continue doing it. All I'm trying to say, friend, is simple. Give these 30 days the best shot so that the next ones will become that much more easier. Is that clear? I don't have any other method of saying this, but if you stop worrying, Vijay, you have been saying that I'm worried about at 120. If you are worried about 120 in the exam hall, you will be more overcautious, more tentative. You will do it worse off. I am actually warning you. So forget whether you're getting 120, 110, 100, 150. Just go there and enjoy the paper. It's easy to say for me here, but that's the only way to work. And Darshan says, learn from Brazil. Kamalika, why are you worried about CAT and IIFT being back to back? It's back to back for everybody. Don't expect that somebody who finishes exam on 16th of a Sunday, 1 week later he'll be any better off in life. It's not going to happen. It's going to be exactly the same. Maybe a little better. But then please understand that you are on 22nd at full rhythm. When you come out of that paper on full rhythm, you will be better off on 23rd also, Kamalika. So if I were you, I would be very happy that on 2 days continuously I am writing 2 big papers. In fact, those people who have 16th as an exam, they will actually make it worse off. Okay, so just keep that in mind. We have the IIFT 2 papers are already there on the website. Please take 1 mock in the next 1-2 weeks whenever you have time. One of those odd days you should take them off. Those of you on 22nd, you will not have the time. Those of you have the exam on 16th, you will have in that 7 days where you can write the IIFT mock online. Okay, but again I'm saying, listen, 50% of them, if 2 lakh people are writing the exam, 1 lakh of them have it on 16th, 1 lakh of them have it on 22nd. No point cribbing that I have on 22nd. Use the best out of it. Okay? Sashi, Rekha, yes, there are going to be 4 sheets as Ashish has correctly said. The IIFT mocks are available already, Manisha, on your student homepage. Okay? Sayan, DLs are horrible. I don't know exactly, immediately I don't recall what are the IIFT box, but I'm going to put up an IIFT strategy on the website as well as send you as a mail, mail. Please go through it without fail. Okay, it will definitely happen. And last, somebody is asking a very interesting question. The next few days, next 3 years are going to be extremely important for the economy. There are so many things that Mr. Narendra Modi, I already put a disclaimer that I am, or a disclosure that I am a fan of his, but not for no reason. The last 5 years, 2008 onwards, actually 2009 onwards till 2013, the MBA placements have been pathetic in this country. 1 year somewhere in 2010, it was slightly better. It was slightly better in 2010, but all the years from 2009 to 2013, including last year, the MBA placements have been bad. Not just MBA placements, all over the economy has been bad, and people have cut down on their employees majorly, cut down on salaries majorly. But there is a change, and there's a serious change that is happening in the market. In fact, the economy curve is gone. You will see slow changes in the stock markets, but these are precursors to the change. We have seen these changes before, and we are seeing it very strongly. We have seen it between 2003 to 2006, 7 very, very strongly. I see the next 3 to 5 years in that age, next 2 to 3 years in the next, in that mode. Let me also tell you, it's again, I'm sticking my neck out and telling you, unless major things, unless a real force majeure clause happens, 2017 MBA placements probably will be the best placements in the last 25 years in this country. It's almost a bet I am taking on. Not for nothing, and it's only not to kind of exhort you, but I know, having seen what's happening on the economics area. There's one more thing. I'm sure all of you know this. I don't know how many of you know this. I and my fellow directors, we also run a business school called the Vanguard Business School in Bangalore. Last year, though I had 100% placement, it was not easy to get them 100% placement. Thanks to our IIM and all the network, we could get it. The first company which came to our campus after a long fight last year was on December 30th. In fact, most of them were placed only by March end. Lots of IIMs did not even get them placed by March 31st last year. This year, the people who are going to graduate in 2015, in Vanguard itself, the first company is coming on October 30th. 5 other companies are lined in November itself. And believe me, chances are very, very high that we're going to complete our placements much before. We are a new school, only the 4th year into placement. 3rd batch is going for placements. And this I'm saying it, not even an IIM. It's not anywhere close to an IIM. You get into the top 30, 40 institutes as somebody else asked for. Boss, 2017 year is going to be fantastic. Even 2016 is going to be fantastic. 2017 will be even more so. There is no better time than getting into an MBA for 2015-2017 batch. So the next 30 days are so very important, friends. Please do not lose this. Whatever, some bit you said I couldn't do anything, etc. kind of things. But I'm saying just make sure that you put in effort. Don't worry about Nandita, which group, which area, etc. You get through any, get the interview call. We will help you throughout. We are here to help you. Get me the IIM or any of the top institute call. We will spend time with each one of you individually and ensure that you get a very, very good, get a final selection. But then I can't do much about it, but you need to do it for the next 25, 30 days. Next 25 days, 30 days, wherever you need, we will be there to help you, but make sure that we will do that. Okay, this therefore can make, I mean, there is a lot of negativity about MBA in the last 5 years. I think people are idiots. They don't understand. Obviously, if economy is going down, what will an MBA alone do? But it is not going away anywhere. It's going to be, and every company I look at requires people. Airtel and Reliance Jio are putting actually thousands of crores in the 4G area. They're taking people like crazy number of people, and they want it at every level. I'm just giving you one. Telecom sector, which has been, screwed up in this country for last 10 years after A. Raja, 2004. Now it's again back to boom. It is going to, in fact, it's like started off. I think by the time you guys graduate, it will become much better. So please make sure you don't miss this bus. You have an excellent chance, friend. Do that, and we will be doing it. We will be helping you. Couple of very important things. MDI Gurgaon, the last date is November 14th. Go ahead and apply if you think that you can get more than 90+ percentile. There are some other institutes like IIM Delhi also. The last date is 15th, 16th November or 21st of November. You might have to apply, but for vast majority of them, the last dates will be later on, after the CAT is over. We can always check out what scores you have got, and we will help you out there also. We will also take you through that classes extra after the CAT is over, and probably a snap paper analysis on that. Okay, but I am saying I don't want to kind of make too many things after CAT. Right now, let's just do one thing, and that is CAT and nothing else. I will share the PPT. Make sure that you will do it. 14th is for MDI Sion. Okay. Apply for the PGDM and PGDM HR, which are the two main ones. If you are interested in HR, IIM, that is International Management, is not doing so well. It doesn't make too much of an issue. I will take a session on the institute form fill up also somewhere in the first week of November. Once we go through, some of you go through these things. I will take a couple of things also. If those of you want any help directly from me, send me your 10th, 12th degree scores. Send me your 10th, 12th degree scores. If you are working, where you are working. Also tell me how much package you are getting right now and for how many years you are working. I will be able to tell you where you should apply and where you should really target itself in that first place. Individual mails, please send it to me at arks@vistamind.com. I promise to send you back the reply soon enough. Okay? Business management of XLRI is very good. HRM of the XLRI is very good. Please apply to both. Simple. Okay. So therefore, friends, this is what I can give you. Wish you all the very best. Wish you all the very best for the exam. And we are here to help you. And I can only help you if you help yourself a little more. Okay. Please make sure that you help yourself seriously over the next few days. Shruti, thank you so much once again, and all the very best. Right, Arun? Make sure that you put in effort. Thanks so much.